Hi, I'm Snez, personal trainer, healthy lifestyle coach, and your guide to feeling your best. This podcast is a segment from my weekly radio show, Wellbeing Wednesdays, broadcast live on 88.6 Plenty Valley FM. It's all about sharing real, practical tips to help you move more, eat better, and live healthier without the overwhelm. Let's dive in, shall we? I have Dr. Marie here with me, and we are talking about all things winter blues. So, Dr. Marie, just a question around seasonal affective disorder. What strategies actually work for managing that? And are they the strategies that you're going to share with us? Are they specifically for seasonal affective disorder or just winter blues generally?
Sure. The strategies that I'm going to be talking about are for anybody who's experiencing, winter blues or anyone who's experiencing more significant SADs. So, yeah, it can help everybody. One of the things I like about it is you can eat your way back to having a more stable mood. So apparently omega-3, so if we eat our salmon and our
So when you say eat your way, like as in choosing foods specifically that will impact hormones, we're not just eating our way through chips and...
No. Thanks for clarifying. Thanks for clarifying.
But there's specific nutrients that we can get from our food.
Things, yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Let's make a list of those now. Okay, so you said omega-3s.
So omega-3s, like our salmon and our walnuts, flax seeds, B vitamins, our leafy greens and
See, that's
legumes.
A really good time to reintroduce also a bit like a B supplement, isn't it, during the winter time?
Sure, that's right.
Yeah.
Vitamin C, of course.
But leafy greens.
Leafy greens. Magnesium, this is where the dark chocolate comes in. So it's an opportunity to eat more dark chocolate in winter.
Do you know also just adding cacao?
Sure. That's
I heard a strategy just recently, and I've started to do this. You can just add cacao to like bolognese sauces, soups. You just stir in a couple of tablespoons of it, and you don't really taste it, but you're getting the benefits of it.
That's a really great idea. Yeah, I tend
trying to move people away from chocolate, Marie, I am.
Dark chocolate I'm talking about.
When we say dark, let's define dark.
Well, a high, 80%,
Well, look,
90%.
I'm like on 90%.
Right?
That's just like chewing
80,
cacao
90%.
nibs.
But you could I tend to have a cacao in the morning instead of a coffee or a tea, and obviously sugar-free, and with a little bit of coconut milk, and away you go. So that can be really
fantastic. And you mentioned that for magnesium, yes?
Yeah, magnesium, Yep. Magnesium. So pumpkin seeds will get magnesium as well, bananas.
And isn't that great that we need pumpkin seeds at a time where pumpkins are growing?
Yes.
I just love this so much. And if we pay attention to what's actually available to us, I could probably imagine that they're the things that we need.
That is so true. That's so true. Well, to increase our serotonin, if people want to get that feel-good neurotransmitter, look for foods with tryptophan. So tryptophan apparently is high in turkey. Unfortunately, we're not a country that eats a lot of turkey except at Christmas time.
Well, it's interesting.
But it has a high level of tryptophan.
We eat a lot of turkey, but as a mince.
Okay. Yep.
So I make turkey mince burgers.
Wonderful.
Or we make it like a mince sort of stir fry. We will have turkey maybe once. Yeah. So I've never baked a whole turkey or a turkey leg. I remember as a kid, Mum baking turkey and telling us it was chicken. I don't know why she couldn't tell us it was just turkey. Maybe I imagine we would have said no, but we're getting a bit off topic. So turkey's interesting.
But chicken is good too. So chicken is another one that can help increase serotonin. But turkey in particular, eggs, cheese, higher in tryptophan. To increase melatonin, apparently, now I haven't tried this myself, but I'm really tempted to now that I've got this, but apparently 1 or 2 hours before bedtime, a kiwi fruit will increase melatonin. Tart cherry juice, if you don't mind that tartness. Almonds and pistachios. Now, one of the things I noticed when I read that was I come home from work around 6:30, 7 o'clock, and the first thing I do is have a handful of pistachios. And I had no idea that helps with melatonin. Yeah, so obviously I eat nuts for other reasons. But there you go. So maybe my body knows eat a handful of pistachios for melatonin.
And that would be a really great swap, as you said, a snack before bed if you are feeling like you need it, rather than having some sweet biscuits which are going to mess with your sleep cycle.
That's right.
Having a handful of nuts.
Absolutely.
That's a really good tip.
Yep.
And tryptophan. Okay, that's really great. That's something that people can Google to help themselves out, because I'm forever being asked about how to improve sleep, and sleep's obviously directly related to melatonin. So tryptophan, I think we need to look into that.
Absolutely. And then there's, the typical vitamin D, of course. We need our vitamin D. So even in winter, if we have that 10 minutes or 20 minutes of daylight that we can get out there, not only is it good to increase our serotonin, but it will help us with our vitamin D. So vitamin D is really important to help with balancing all our hormones. It is actually a hormone itself.
And so people can, if they've got that at home on the shelf, this is probably a good time to start taking it then.
Absolutely. Winter's probably a really good time. I mean, if you want to be certain about what levels you need, go to your doctor and have your blood tests. Right, so that...
Yeah, good point. If you are supplementing, but not if you're just out there in the sun.
But I have read material that suggests we can't really OD on vitamin D, but don't take my word for it. I'm not a
definitely go get
specialist.
That advice.
But the other things, of course, is movement. Now, we say that every segment, don't we, that movement, exercise, all that activity levels is going to help with increasing our serotonin, our dopamine, and endorphins.
And I see that every day, obviously working at the studio, and I just see that members, they're not as sprightly coming in. So that means I need to switch on the sprightliness for them.
Correct.
But by the end, they're just, like they walk in and they're quite grumpy to be there. But at the end, it's like, oh, I'm so glad I did that.
Absolutely. So, keep going to Snez's sessions.
Or your own.
Especially in winter. But it doesn't have to be it could be just walking.
Absolutely.
Any kind of movement is going to help.
And even when we're talking about the push-up challenge, which started today, and some of the really fascinating research that's come out of the mental health benefits of people participating in the challenge felt better. Some of the stats are actually fantastic. So we know that exercise helps. Definitely try and do it in any form or shape, whether that's going to a gym or going for your walks or just doing some push-ups at home, jumping into the 23-day challenge.
Absolutely. Now, look, getting your sleep under wraps is a good one too. Getting some counselling for people who have got more significant SADs. Socialising is really important. Maybe the young people know how to do it better than, us older ones. But getting out with your friends. And look, for people who are really, really affected, see your doctor about some medication.
Yeah.
If you're really affected.
Because we don't have to put up with being really unhappy and struggling.
There's no excuse these days. There's so many different options
to get some help.
And try, if you don't want medication, try all the healthy options first. But if you're really, really down in the dumps and nothing else is working, then just for a short time, it doesn't have to be for a long time, have some medication. So
we've talked a lot about recognising it in ourselves and how to help ourselves out, but how do we support friends or family who seem to withdraw or they're struggling more in winter? So what can we do for people around us that we're noticing?
Yeah. Look, I think my view is that normalise it for them, because as we were saying earlier, the winter blues is something that we generally... most of us experience, and if not every year, most of us experience it at some time in our lives. So just kind of normalise it for them, and if it is sort of winter blues, just let them know that maybe you're experiencing the same, and that way they're feeling a bit more normal that they're experiencing that, and help them understand that generally, we're going through some kind of seasonal dormancy. And generally what that means is that it's a time of year that it is time to kind of slow it down, have a rest, because we are really busy in summer and we're doing all sorts of activities, staying up late. I mean, there's the Christmas in the southern side of the hemisphere. We're celebrating Christmas and New Year and Easter, and there's so much going on, more long weekends. So we keep pretty busy. So maybe kind of, again, normalise it from the perspective of that it's okay to just slow down a little bit, right? Slow down a little bit.
And I think that's a really beautiful idea and a really way to end this segment, because it is just about embracing, let's just slow down. Let's just, it's a normal, natural phase. And when you were talking about how we can help other people, I think just a general kindness towards each other and compassionate and, just maybe even doing an activity that's conducive to this time of year. Let's just all hang in and let's take all the blankets out. That's what we do. Let's take all the blankets out. Let's just watch a movie and let's not go anywhere and let's just eat in front of the TV, which we never do.
Yes.
You know, and I'm always encouraging the kids to eat out on the deck and, you know, that sort of thing. But just changing what we're doing and being kinder to ourselves, I guess, so we can navigate it through better.
Absolutely. Yeah, I love that. Absolutely do that.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Marie. Is there any final thoughts or wrap-ups? But I think that was just a really beautiful way to end. Is there anything else that you wanted to share with our listeners?
Look, the only thing is if there's a friend who's suffering from more than winter blues, then just be there with them and don't minimise their struggle. Kind of work with them to do some of those helpful activities or get some help and just be on their side.
Because I think a really important point is not minimising other people, because there's some people that are probably listening to this program going, I don't know what you're talking about. This is not a thing for me. I'm going strong and I feel completely fine. So, yeah, just accepting how as individuals we navigate through this time.
Absolutely.
But thank you so much. It was absolutely lovely to have you now. Thanks for joining me on this segment from Wellbeing Wednesdays, as heard live on 88.6 Plenty Valley FM. If you enjoyed this episode, share it with someone who might find it helpful and subscribe so you never miss a show. Want to catch the live broadcast? Well, you can tune in Wednesdays from 12 till 2 p.m. on 88.6 Plenty Valley FM, or find my info on Wellbeing Wednesdays with Snez, the Facebook group. Take care, stay healthy, and remember, it's the little choices every day that create big changes. Talk soon.